Religion had its beginnings steeped in the superstition of fertility and the mysteries of reproduction. Originally, these mysteries were supplemented with ritualistic murder and cannibalism. Eventually, the eating of grain and the sacrifice of animals were substituted for the human victims. This transition in religious tone resulted from a change in the ethnic and social fabric. Male-oriented pastoral societies migrated into agrarian strongholds. They brought with them a whole new pantheon of male gods. Where once the earth goddess defined human destinies, now the new gods rewrote the cosmic order. The reordering of the old mythos empowered the new providence of patriarchal gods to assume the earth goddess's responsibilities. Mythologically, the gods were joined to the agricultural goddesses by either giving birth to them, as in the case of Athena, emerging fully matured from Zeus's head, or by marrying them, as in the case of Hera. Politically, the king was no longer merely the consort of the temple priestess, but took over her shrines and fused himself to her attributes. The result of this cultural and mythological change amounted to the replacement of the earth goddess by a male pantheon. The patriarchal male gods gained control of the earth goddess's religious shrines through the allegorical drama of might makes right, the strong over the weak. They suppressed the old nature iconography and supplanted it with one of dominance, of man over nature. This male god needs no help from the earth goddess to create the universe. It was, however, the Hebrews which led the way in permanently altering the old mythological patterns.
I am the Lord, that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth from heaven alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself.
The God of Israel takes over the female responsibility of childbearing and says that he is able to form thee from the womb. Isaiah 44:24. The Hebrew God leaves no doubt that the symbols of the mother goddess are now the property of man, and not just the symbols of her authority, but as the verse in Isaiah and especially Genesis relates, over women too. Merlin Stone writes that
the domination of the male over the female was not simply added as another Hebrew law, but written into the Bible as one of the first major acts and proclamations of the male creator. With blatant disregard for actual history, the Levite leaders announced that women must be ruled by man, declaring that it was in agreement with the original decree of Yahweh, who, in according to these new legends, had first created the world and people. The myth of Adam and Eve, in which male domination was explained and justified, informed women and men alike that male ownership and control of submissively obedient women was to be regarded as the divine and natural state of the human species.
The advocates of the Hebrew Yahweh destroyed the shrines of the female deity whenever they could, murdering when they could not convert. Thus the Levite priesthood wrote the tale of creation. The phenomenon was not just a Hebrew one. The Persian god Mithra, too, is both lord of the upper and lower worlds. He has evolved into the cosmic master of the universe, a being who has united the power of all the gods, whom he alone has begotten. In Mesopotamia, the god Baal becomes lord of the universe, father of the sun god and moon god, and claimed to be creator. In Babylon, the god Marduk proclaims himself chief of the gods. Go call the assembly together, Marduk says, and issue the decree that from now on I alone shall make the decisions, and whatever I say shall be law. The new male gods take for themselves the earth goddess's properties, dividing amongst themselves her belongings, air, water, earth. Greek mythology produces the god Kronos, who, without any logical rationale, claimed responsibility for the earth, water, and air. His closest parallel, surviving into the archaic period of Greece, is probably that of the three-eyed Zeus Hercules, described by Homer. Pausanias, too, describes this figure.
A wooden image of Zeus had 2 eyes in the natural place, and a third on its forehead. So whoever made the image made it with 3 eyes, signifying that the same God ruled in all the 3 allotments of the universe, as they are called.
Some scholars, Fennell for example, believe the figure with 3 eyes was the only way primitive artists knew how to portray the God who looks to the heavens, the earth, and the water. The Babylonian god Marduk molds himself from the very mythic material that once belonged to the earth goddess. With a sword he slices her in half, and from the pieces he made the god Anu, the god of the firmament. And the god Enlil he put in the realm of the air. And the god E became the god of the deep water. Likewise, the god Baal splits in 2 the body of the goddess Tiamat, from which he made the foundations of the earth. From the lower half he made earth, and from the upper half he made the sky. Even the opening verse of the Bible says that God created the heaven and earth from dividing the waters in half. And as you remember, it is the earth goddess who is the original and sole source of water. In fact, the words of the Bible which begin, God created, may in fact be correctly translated from the Old Hebrew as God sundered. In any case, it is the male gods, Baal, Marduk, Yahweh, Jehovah, that usurp the earth goddess's original attributes, reducing her to a subservient role. The Egyptians assign the earth goddess's attributes to the god Min. His persona is exactly that which was once reserved for the earth goddess alone. He is a god of fertility, the bringer of rain, and the generative force in nature. Particularly, he was associated with the growth and ripening of grain. At Thebes, he was often shown wearing the crown of Ammon and carrying a flail in one hand.